you have such a beautiful way of evoking the past through incredibly complex portrayals of historical women. You honor them by bringing their humanity to the forefront, and you've taken my breath away once again with the portrayal of Katherine Parr. Um, what continues to draw you to these unsung women of the past? And can you touch upon your preparation to achieve that delicate balance of honoring the historical context of a character while breathing new life into her?
Um, I think, it's or breathing new life. I think it's about kind of discovering that I don't think that human beings have changed that much emotionally. It's the context or the places or the world that they live in that is different. And I think, when I met Karim the first time, he was, that was the story he wanted to tell. He wanted to kind of, at the core, describe this story about this marriage and about this woman who does survive domestic violence and in the end even outlives her then husband. And yes, I think we wanted, especially us being foreign and not British. I think we do feel the kind of obligation that we want to. We did a lot of research and I've read a lot of books between just Jude and Karim and I. We had historians who came on set, everything to kind of back ourselves up with as much information going into the shoot as possible. But then when you actually then walk in on set and you're about to shoot, that's also when you've done the preparation to kind of see if you can normalize some of this information to kind of feel like that is within your realm now, but then you have to kind of let that go and not think about it, because then it's only about being in there now and be present and find real truth, I think.
Right, absolutely. And you achieved that beautifully, because what struck me most about the film, which was quite heartbreaking, was how relevant it felt still.
Yes, sadly. Sadly, I mean,
Sadly.
there's a lot of, if you bring it down to the core about people being stuck in abusive relationships, that is, something that we obviously have today as well. And I think that's also why we knew we had to kind of tell some of these very harsh and brutal scenes in the most really authentic way, to kind of know that we don't shy away from that being a reality.
Absolutely. And what drew me so closely to Catherine, which I love really in characters and in humans in general, is her capacity to want to grow and to want to learn and discover amidst, within this world where that was so discouraged. And it was really inspiring to see. Um, and I'm ashamed to say that I didn't know much about Katherine Parr before this film. And what I also loved was how she was a mother figure to these children and kind of a role model of sorts, especially to Elizabeth. Can you talk about, what excited you the most about exploring a character who created kind of like such a profound ripple effect in history, in a sense, with all this love that was in her heart and the kindness that she bestowed in this very cruel world?
Yeah, when you kind of, sometimes when I stood there on set and I just, we actually, the women who played the ladies in waiting and I, together with the historians in preparation, we were kind of we kind of hung out in these two rooms actually on set most of the time, and because they had told us this is kind of the quarters where you would be in and you wouldn't really leave. I mean, there were kind of prisoners, and to see what Catherine managed to create and achieve during her lifetime, not just knowing that yes, she was just a woman at that time, and that itself you would have thought then the possibility of being capable is so difficult, but then living in this house with this man who is a threat for your life for every day, and still dare to even speak out about subjects or beliefs that goes against his, knowingly, and manage to kind of, that just shows the kind of extreme emotional intellect of how she was able to play this kind of chess game with him to kind of, manipulate and maneuver him in a way to kind of see things differently, or to get him to feel loved, maybe a way for her to get close to him. So there were so many aspects of her kind of brilliance, and then of course the fact that it did strike me, the fact that she didn't have children, and she had been married before, and a woman of that time, that was kind of your one and only mission in life, was to produce offsprings, and then that must have been such pain for her, with a woman that really puts, who wants to succeed, and he seems like a person who really want to perform, for her to then not do this deed that she's put here on earth for must have been heartbreaking. But then that she, within that, can step into this role, knowing what these other wives, what their destiny became, and then to take on these children and kind of take them on as they were hers. Yes, there's just kind of an endless, really impressive traits about this woman.
No, absolutely. And her capacity to be so empathetic, like again, when like all the odds are against, women at the time, and there is this immense pressure that could make you extremely, I don't want to say bitter, but like a hardness in you. And the fact that she sort of fought against that and was the kind of source of light at the time it's truly remarkable. It really is.
Well, you touched upon it. I really find that, I think that hardness to her had to kind of be there. And I guess it was interesting when I read her own words in her books, she kind of has a bit of that, which I kind of liked, because it took away from her not just being this angelic kind of beautiful creature. She's quite harsh, and she actually puts herself on quite high horses. She is closer to God and probably better than most other people. So it was that thing but I liked that, because I kind of, then it started to become a real person too. And but then I think the children, at least I see that, now, and I have, children as well, is that the of having something else that you need to live for really gives you another kind of human superpower, because the fear can, even in her situation, I'm sure, even was able to kind of lift a tiny bit, because she had a purpose. The purpose was bigger than her. It was these young children.
Absolutely. Like speaking of that fear, my favorite quote of the film, which you just deliver so beautifully and powerfully, is when she says, "What is the point of me being queen if I don't have the courage for my convictions?" And just to see, like, which is so, I don't want to, the word isn't funny, but I'm watching it and I'm like, I want to like speak to her through the TV, saying, "Katherine, you are exhibiting so much courage." Like, all those women had so much courage to kind of, again, to continue to sort of find the kindness and the love despite the fear, and to kind of summon that power on their own. It takes such an immense amount of courage, and it was really powerful to watch. We were just touching upon it, but I want to go back to sort of the film's exploration on those, like, the cruel childbearing expectations of women at the time, which again, sadly feels incredibly relevant and timely still, which is heartbreaking. I'm so grateful when films don't shy away or diminish the nuances of especially miscarriages, something that I think need to be spoken about and shown more on screen. So I'd love to touch upon that, and I'd just love to hear your opinion about the importance of kind of authentic representations of reproductive health, no matter what the time period.
Like you said, it's definitely added pressure back then, when it was like kind of your purpose in life. But then it's interesting, because I myself, I made the choice even to, like, you know, be outspoken to say I've gone through it, and it was like the most horrifying thing. And it's like, I think a lot of women and men, you know, we are aware that this can happen, and then the impact that it has on you is so big. And I think, even though, like, you know, as a woman, I think it's quite common to feel, even today when we're aware of these things, that something is not right, or is there a reason for it happening,
Right,
you know.
right.
And I think it's just like with any kind of trauma, it's healed by having the ability to kind of share and talk about it, and therefore kind of heal yourself. And so I think we're just living times now when we need to kind of represent and show these things in films accurately for the discussion, hopefully to, you know, be brought up in our society as well, and not have any stigma over it.
Absolutely. For one, it has helped me in the past going through similar experiences to be able to see those representations on screen, because it is kind of crazy how isolating those kind of experiences can feel. And once
I went
you
on YouTube. And I don't watch you like YouTube. I haven't really, I guess because I don't have much social media, and I don't really, and that was where found my help, was other women who kind of just very bluntly just talked about their own experiences.
100%, 100, it's all about that, all about sharing. And that's something that why art is such a powerful tool, because it is the ultimate way to share and connect. So thank you so much. This was such an honor. Thank you for
Thank
taking the
you
time
so
again
much. Really,
today.
thank you.
Yeah.